Welcome to The Late Show, everybody. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. It is an exciting day. Exciting day for President Trump, because he went on a field trip to the Museum of African American History. He was so worried Steve Bannon wouldn't sign his permission slip. He got to go. Right. Have you been down there?
Yeah, I've been down
Haven't been yet. I hear it's fantastic.
Oh, it's incredible.
Tremendous. Now, Trump was supposed to visit the museum on Martin Luther King Day, but that had to be postponed because of scheduling issues. It's understandable. As Dr. King himself so famously said, "I have a dream, unless something comes up, then it can wait." Stirring. Stirring. I believe Obama called that the fierce urgency of now or later. Yeah. Now, at the end of the tour, Trump honored the greatest figures in African American history, like Sojourner Truth, Booker T. Washington, and Ben Carson.
I'm so proud. I love this guy. He's a great guy, really a great guy. And he can tell you better than me, but I'll tell you what, we really started something with Ben.
Yes, Trump really started something by hiring Ben Carson. It is the greatest achievement for African Americans since about 4 weeks ago when we had a black president. But since then,
Big changes.
Pretty good since then. And make no mistake, as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Ben Carson has his work cut out for him.
HUD has a meaning far beyond housing. If properly done, it's a meaning that's as big as anything there is. And Ben will be able to find that true meaning and the true meaning of HUD as its secretary.
Yes. I believe Ben Carson will find the true meaning of HUD. Just like in the beloved children's story, How the Grinch Stole Housing. That's so good. Yeah.
Right.
With Cindy Lou Who.
Oh, yeah.
With Cindy Lou Who. Now, along with Carson, Trump recognized other African Americans serving in government. He honored them the only way he knows how.
I also want to thank Senator Tim Scott for joining us today. A friend of mine, a great, great senator from South Carolina. I like the state of South Carolina. I like all those states where I won by double digits, you know, those states.
Yes, he loved those states where he won by double digits, but he seems to hate the country where he lost by millions of votes. He's still president. Doesn't mean he's not president. He's still president. He's just a loser president. Now, the Department of Homeland Security today told us how they're going to enforce the president's executive orders on immigration. And it cannot come soon enough, folks, because just last week, hunters in Texas were wounded in a gunfight near the border when they say immigrants illegally crossed in from Mexico, converging on their camp in the middle of the night and tried to rob them. Now, both men are recovering, but it's an unbelievable story in that you should not believe it because it was all a lie. Turns out, they shot each other. Yeah, wow.
Shotgun.
Yeah, they shot each other. Wow,
Shoot 'em and run.
the truth hurts. Not as much as those bullets, but still. Apparently, one of the guys named Walker Doherty was out walking around, and then as he returned to camp, he thought that illegals were in the RV waiting to kidnap his friends. But instead of announcing himself, he tried opening the door, and that's when his fellow hunter inside the RV, Edwin Roberts, fired off a round. It's like the old joke, knock, knock, blam, blam, blam. Now, that's how it goes. Knock, knock, blam, blam, blam. Why did the chicken cross the road? To get away from the gunfight. Now, from the beginning, the sheriff said that there was no evidence illegal immigrants were involved, but that did not stop Texas Agriculture Commissioner and cartoon of a Texas Agriculture Commissioner, Sid Miller. He spread the story to his 400,000 Facebook followers, saying that America needs to build the wall because, quote, the aliens were ambushing the RV that Walker and his wife, period. Man, the immigration problem has gotten so bad, even he can't speak English. Now, speaking of immigration, last Thursday was something called a Day Without Immigrants, which you guys know about it? You guys know about this? I didn't know. I didn't really know about this. I thought that's what Trump called it when Melania stays in New York. But it turns out he misses her, because he misses her. But it turns out a day without immigrants is when a lot of immigrants all over the country didn't go to work to protest Trump's border policies. But now it turns out a lot of those employees who participated in the protest got fired. For instance, in Oklahoma, the owner of the I Don't Care Bar and Grill fired 12 line cooks and said, I'm on their side, but we have rules at the I Don't Care Bar and Grill. Okay. Fair enough, but if that's the case, they should really change the name to the Selectively Anal Bar and Grill. By the way, please, I beg you, do not Google Selectively Anal Bar and Grill, but do try the jalapeno poppers. Now, we are, what are we, a month? Is this a month? Last Friday was a month. We're a month into Trump's presidency. And for those of you, pace yourself. It's only 1 month, people. You gotta pace yourself. For those of you keeping score at home, Donald Trump has gone golfing 6 times. 6 times in 30 days. That does explain the bumper sticker on Air Force One. I'd rather be golfing, and there's a 20% chance that I am. Now, we know golf claps. Now, we know the president has been to the golf course 6 times, but for some reason, his aides would not confirm that Trump played golf each time he went to the course. Now, sure, he could be on the course for any reason. We know he loves making fun of people's handicaps. But golf clap. That deserves a golf clap. Ooh. But I know why they're dodging. When Trump was on the campaign trail, he said this.
I'm going to be working for you. I'm not going to have time to go play golf.
Well, then that's good news. If Trump has time to be out on the golf course, I guess that means America is great again.